Hi gang, Rob here. It is the evening of 25 May 2023, Thursday night, 9 o'clock, time for a knife sale on the Apostle P channel. And that's exactly what we have for you, and it's huge. Huge. Nearly 40 items for sale tonight. Almost all of them knives. So we got to get moving. Before we get into the meat of the sale, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. First up, I need you to be familiar with and agreeable to the terms of the sale. I'm going to post them on the screen for you in just a moment. I'm going to reprint them in the description underneath this video. Also in the description at the very top, you're going to see 3 links to previous videos on the channel. The first is to my Primer for Buyers video. That's a 38-minute expanded explanation of the terms. It explains how we do things, how things flow, and why they are the way they are. So if you're new, please give that a watch. It'll make your purchase experience much more pleasurable. The second link is for those of you who might be interested in moving along some of your collection using this weekly sales event. It's called FAQs for Consignors. That video explains how everything works from the consignor's perspective in this weekly sale. And then the third link, as always, is to my Rates and Services video for the ApostleP Knife Service, the original precision sharpening service for the online knife community. So in the all-important video description, you're going to see those 3 links. Then you will see the terms of the sale, and then at the very bottom, the long list of tonight's inventory, complete with timestamps on the left, pricing on the right. In the pricing column, you will generally see 2 numbers. The first on the left is the price of your knife as shown in the video. The price on the right is the price of your knife as sharpened by the ApostleP Knife Service. No next day sharpening this week. We have a motorcycle trip. So if you buy a knife to be sharpened, expect it to ship in about 3 weeks. If you see the word sold in lieu of a price, that's all caps exclamation point, no need to send a message regarding that knife. It has been bought and paid for, and it's on its way to its new owner. I think that's it for the preliminaries. Let's get the terms up on the screen. We'll be right back with the sale inventory. Here are the terms. All right, let's get to it, shall we? First up, we got 5 leftovers from last week, and we're going to start it off with a watch. You guys are sleeping on this. I'm telling you. It is from Casio and the unheralded but awesome Protech line. The watch inside the box is the PRW-61Y-1BJF. The instructions are in the box. They are in Japanese, so you will want to go online. So here is the watch. Oh yeah. On my wrist. Let's take it off so we can examine it a little more closely. So what we have is a super capable outdoor watch. The case and bracelet are made from, I don't know, plant-based polymers. However, plant-based or not, this might be the most comfortable non-combi bracelet of any Sport Series Casio. So we got a 42mm case measured absolutely to the roots between all the stuff sticking out. The bezel has the World Time Cities on it. It is PVD coated stainless steel. The crystal is mineral. The thickness is 14. The lug-to-lug is 55, measuring to the end of the articulating lugs. So it wears considerably smaller than that. And then I think I listed the The lug width last week at 22. I believe it's actually 24. So hands and the 12 hourly indices are heavily loomed. And then in case you get up in the middle of the night and you can't see the loom well enough, you have a backlight down here at the 6. It's a little LED emitter that shoots straight up into the dial. Negative display, but very visible in all lights. Using the 5673 module. It is an Anadigi. You've got a compass up here. You've got an altimeter here. You've got, let's see, there's your barometric pressure. There's your temperature. Don't know what recall does. There's your stopwatch, your countdown timer, your alarm. What's that? I forgot. Oh, that's your world time. That is your indicator for when it last received its multiband 6 this morning. And then we're back to time. Pretty cool stuff. Awesome watch. 100 meters of water resistance, I believe. Is that right? 10 bar. Yes. The condition is very near mint to like new in box. Super cool tool watch, and it's not a G-Shock. Pretty neat. Price of these web retail brand new at your favorite budget watch shop is going to be about $330. We ran this last week at $240, didn't sell it. Dropped it to $210 for the weekend, still here. Your price this week, $190. And guys, don't nap on this because I might just snag it. I've probably worn it 4 days out of the last week. It's awesome. The Casio Protech PRW 61Y1 BJF. Next up, we have one from Grimsmo, but it's not a knife. Comes in that big old box, made in Canada. It is a Grimsmo Saga titanium pen. Pretty neat box with a big, thick, lucite lid held in place with rare earth magnets. Pretty neat. Going to come with an extra Schmidt refill P900F. I think that means fine. And then here's the pen. So it's a clicky button pen, but you click the button to open and then nothing. You have to pull down on this gold collar to release. So everything's titanium. I think the gold ring might be anodized. Then the pocket clip, obviously, milled and anodized titanium. Kind of a stonewashed natural titanium barrel. Dimensions are, I forget, like just over 5 and then 5.5, depending on whether that's extended. I guess it's 4 and 15/16. Anyway, these are gone as far as buying a new one. On eBay, they're kind of ubiquitous, and they're selling between $375 and $450 in this level of finish, right? We ran this one last week at $325, got no takers, dropped to $290 for the weekend. It's still here. Somebody gets a heck of a buy on this, guys. $260 for the Grimsmo Saga titanium pen. I know you got to do this the right way. Let's see. Is that the right way? That is the right way. Next up, from a little company in Goshen, New York, Elite Outfitting Solutions, EOS. And the knife that we have for you is the Micro Surgeon, not the Mini Surgeon, as I said last week. The Micro Surgeon, that'll help you find it. Made in Goshen, New York, USA. So we've got what they call the hex pattern milled titanium handle. You've got sort of that hex pattern repeated on the bronzy or bronze anodized milled titanium pocket clip. We do have a titanium frame lock knife. Steel inserted lock face. Not a flipper. Thumb stud deployment, but ball bearing pivot. Blade steel on this is sort of an acid stone washed. CTS XHP 3 1/8 inches in length. Kind of a stylized sheep's foot. There is your lock engagement on the steel insert. Nice and robust. Rock solid. Action's beautiful. Blade centering. It's dead down the middle. Condition on this knife, we're going to say like new in the box. Out of stock everywhere. When they were available, they were about, they weren't $500. They were about $400 in this level of finish. We ran it last week at $370, got no takers. Due to some market research, we dropped it to $300 for the weekend. It's still here. Whittling down even more, we're going to do $250 this week. $250 like it is, $275 with an Apostle P edge. The EOS Micro Surgeon. Next up, making a return appearance, which is rare for a Hinderer product to make it through a whole week. This is the LP1 Warncliffe fixed blade from Hinderer. So it's a neck knife. It's going to come with a beaded chain. It's going to come in a fold-over Kydex sheath, suitable for neck carry. This is a skeletonized bare handle knife. My consignor has wrapped it in self-adhesive gauze. Not a bad idea, actually. Not bad at all. Blade steel S35 VN, 2-inch blade, 2 3/4 handle. Like new in box. No charge for the gauze. These are out of stock everywhere. When they were available, they were $190 retail on the web. We offered this one last week at $185. You'd think about web retail would be right for an out of stock Hinderer. Apparently not. We dropped it to $160 for the weekend. It's still here. Let's go $135 on the Hinderer LP1 neck knife. Next up, got one from Prometheus lights, but it's not a light. It's going to come in that box. No worse for the wear. It's going to come with sunshine polishing cloth. It's going to come with instructions and an Allen wrench. Why would we need instructions, Rob? I guess it's going to explain how we take stuff apart. But anyway, it is the Prometheus Alpha pen in brass. It is 5 inches long when closed up. And then if we flip the cap, it's 5 5/8. Uses a Monteverde black 19F refill. This one has the raw titanium clip. And of course the full kit as you saw. It is like new in the box. Oh, there's your refill. One thing I thought was pretty cool about this. The inside of the cap threaded as normal. But on the barrel, there's one thread. Both at that end and that end. Because that's all it needs. And it just, once it's home, it's just beautifully solid. And that brass bites a little bit. It's very nice. Yep. So we ran the Alpha pen in brass last week at $150. Web retail at $180. Didn't sell. We dropped it to $125 for the weekend. This week, $95. $95 on the Prometheus Alpha pen in brass. Let's see, that does it for the leftovers. Time to go to the fresh stuff. We've got a vintage Kershaw, and it is the 1665 ST Packrat, and it is made in the USA. Comes in its original box. The Packrat. Black G10. Mild texture. The old goofy Kershaw. That's like the Andy Warhol butter knife, I guess I'd call it. It is a speed-safe stainless steel liner lock, so spring assist. Flipper on phosphor bronze. It is the ST, so we get those amazing Kershaw serrations. Got a fine bead blast blade in 13C26. 2 and 15/16 inch blade. 4 and 3/16 handle. There's your lock engagement. It's dead rock solid. Blade's nice and free. Centering is dead down the middle. The condition is like new in the box. These are long discontinued. If you guys sort of know your Kershaw history, at some point they started printing the steel type, and at some point the manufacture date, which would be right here, this knife predates all that. So what, probably late 2000s? And long discontinued. This serrated black-handled version, I can't find one anywhere. There's lots of orange ones, which were later in the production run, that have sold on eBay, but nothing like this, and it is pristine and beautiful. Your price, $100, like it is. $125 with an ApostleP edge, the Kershaw 1665 ST Packrat. Next up, got one from Case, no box, but what a cool knife. Notice, no shield, engraved in what appears to be oak, we have Case XX Whaler, okay? So this is the 1199 SHR Whaler. Long knife, 4 1/8 inch closed. You got the bail. The blade is in true sharp stainless. It is a sheep's foot. This knife really screams Sheffield, England. What a great homage by Case. Just a super nice knife. Full height hollow on that stainless blade. Beautiful. About an 8 pull. Walk and talk, stunning. Centering, well, you know, it's not a GEC. We're going to call this near mint, no box. Kind of a rarish piece. This one really, really nice. Let's do 90 on the 1199 SHR Whaler, 110 with an ApostleP edge. Next up, the lone Great Eastern cutlery knife in this evening's sale. It is from the handcrafted line of Tidioute cutlery. It is a model 97111 Allegheny in maroon linen micarta. We had sort of the twin to this knife last week by another consignor. I think this might be a little nicer example. Just some very slight carry marks. It's very superficial in the nickel silver. There's that maroon linen. And you guys know this blade. Pretty much the same blade that went in Charlie's 98s, right? So you got a very slight recurve, full flat ground, cut swedge, long pole. It looks like this might have had a little flitz applied at one time. Might have been a little bit of patina starting right just below the pole. But it's super slight. Just thought I'd mention it. You get a beautifully visible Patty's Potato Peeler's etch. These are what? 4 3/4 inch closed length of Coke bottle. Pull weight about a 5.5. It's pretty standard. Nice walk and talk. Centering, that's how it should look, right down the middle. We'll say near mint in tube. Your price, $160. Oh, and it has a polished edge, but there's a little no cleanup near the tip. Didn't quite get to the factory apex, so it's mostly pretty doggone sharp, but I'm going to offer it at a sharpened price if you're really anal. So $160 like it is, $180 sharpened. The GEC Tidioute, number 97 Allegheny. Next up, we have one from Italy by way of Sulphur, Oklahoma. It's a Lionsteel, commissioned by CollectorKnives.net. It's the CK0212NC, which stands for Natural Canvas. So a very cool brainchild of Mike Latham. made by the boys in Maniago. So what is it? It's sort of a medium small, swell center, curved trapper. About a 7 pull. M390 blade, clip point in shape. 3 7/8 closed length, gorgeous single clip point. Long pulls on both sides, cut swedge both sides. Perfect walk and talk. Perfect centering. We'll call it near mint to like new in the box. Currently available brand new at collectorknives.net for $122. Or just save yourself like $27. Buy this one, $95 shipped priority mail, $115 if you'd like it, with an ApostleP edge. The Lionsteel CK0212NC Trapper. Next up, got one from one of the other makers in Maniago Knife Makers, MKM. What we have is the MKM Burnley Fara, the Fara by Burnley, the I don't know, I guess we're saying MY01T. I got my part number off Mike's website, but anyway, here's the knife. Titanium handle. Looks like it ought to be a frame lock, doesn't it? Not, but full titanium. Lucas Burnley design. What? It's a half-stop slip joint. How about that? M390 blade. Clip point with smudges all over it. Why did you not clean this, Rob? Anyway. 2 7/8 blade, 4 3/16 handle. Nice half stop. 7 pull. Beautiful walk and talk. Perfect centering. Blue pivot collars. Crowned backspacer. Just a pretty smart package, I would say. Near mint inbox, web price at Collector Knives $128. Let's do $90 on this shipped priority mail near mint inbox. And no need to sharpen. It's wearing a beautiful polished edge. Applied by my consignor, I believe. It's the MKM Burnley Fara. Next up, we have a poly bag. We have a padded pouch. And we have a knife from LV Knives. Ray Laconico and Mike Vagnino. Right? It's the LV Knives Javelin or Javelina. A really nice package. So pretty standard stuff, right? Kind of a blasted and then tumbled titanium handle, full titanium. A clip in Timascus, sort of burply. There are a couple very super fine scratches on the edge of that clip. But other than that, it's fairly pristine. It is a ball bearing flipper, and it's kind of a push button flipper with a pretty firm detent. Harpoon clip point, acid stonewash blade. The steel on the Javelin is CTS XHP. 3.5 inches of blade. 4 7/16 handle. I have a non-steel inserted titanium frame lock. Locking up thusly, and let's see, rock solid and 0 stick. Ball bearing pivot drops shut. Centering is down the middle. And this also wearing a pretty nice polished edge. Fingers off lock bar. So I'm not going to even offer a sharpening price on this one. These are out of stock everywhere. When they were available, web retail was $650. Your price on this one, $295 like it is. No need to sharpen. The LV Knives Javelin. Next up, got one from Protech. The knife inside is the TR3 SWAT Limited Edition. Beautiful black hard anodized aluminum handle. Nicely fluted, kind of Almar Sear like. There's a little piece of dirt in that groove I can't get to. Standard Protech stuff, right? The long black oxide clip. Button lock automatic, 154 cm blade. 3 5/16 blade, 4 5/8 handle. Rock solid lockup. Centering is dead. Action is very Protech-y. This is wearing a beautiful polished edge that I don't think I did. I think my consignor did this one. I could have done it. It's close. It's quite good. So we're going to say near mint in box. Just a little evidence of being in the pocket. In the black handle. But just like almost nothing. Discontinued, out of stock when they were available. They were $220 web retail and they sold out in about 5 minutes. I think this price might be a little low. No need to sharpen. Your price $195, shipped priority mail. The Protech TR3 SWAT limited edition. Next up we have the Rob's Pick for tonight's sale. Oh, sorry guys, somebody commented on last week's video. What, no Rob's Pick? There actually was a Rob's Pick, but I didn't announce it. There was a knife that my early birds didn't see, but now I can't remember what it was. Anyway, we have another Protech. I teased you about this yesterday. It is the 5101-Satin Malibu flipper. I've never seen this model of a Malibu, and I can't find like any comps for this. They didn't make very many of these. You're used to seeing the sheep's foot in the Malibu. This has just the plain black hard anodized handle, the Parkerized deep carry right hand tip up clip, button lock, ball bearing flipper. But wait, that is not a sheep's foot, and it's not stonewashed. We have horizontal satin on the flats, we have vertical satin in the flat grind, and we have a horn cliff in CPM 20 CV. 3 5/16 blade, 4 3/16 handle, super efficient blade to handle ratio, superb in hand, rock solid lockup. Action is beautiful. The centering is perfect. Wearing a very nicely applied polished edge, no need to sharpen. You guys know how much money these Malibus are doing, and this is not a ubiquitous Malibu. Good luck finding one like it. I don't think we're holding you up on this price. $325, shipped priority mail, no need to sharpen. That's the Protech 5101-Satin Malibu. Next up, and it's our last Protech tonight, and it's a this is so funny, Protech Drop Ferrum Forge. So Ferrum Forge design, marketed at drop, made by Protech, which is a good thing because it's better than drop Ferrum Forge knives that are made in China, right? The knife inside is the Mordax, and I don't know, does that gray look a little blue to you? Because it does to me. So it's a bead blasted aluminum with a hard ano in a light blue gray, deep carry clip that's going to be right hand only, button lock, ball bearing flipper, manual action, superb flipping action considering how thick and heavy the blade is, 20 CV blade, 3 9/16 inches in length, wearing a gorgeous polished edge. I don't think I did this. I think my consignor did. Good job, Pat, if you did. Nice job. So yeah. The flipping action's great. The ball bearings feel dead smooth. The centering's perfect. We'll call it near mint. in box. Just a couple little carry marks, very superficial in the clip. Out of stock, new. I could not find one this color that was either a current listing or a sold listing on eBay. But other colors doing between $250 and $350 in the secondary market, sold listings. Your price on this one, $225 like it is. No need to sharpen. The Drop, Protech, Ferrum Forge, Mordax. Next up, we have another one from Drop. When it used to be Massdrop, from Massdrop and Ferrum Forge, this is the Gent carbon fiber. Just a beautiful little pocket knife. Made in China or not, it is. So there's your handle. You could call this a titanium frame lock, or you could call it a titanium liner lock. Scales leave a nice reveal for the liners. The scales are carbon fiber, beautifully matte finished or satin finished. It's a ball bearing flipper. S35VN blade, beautiful. 2 15/16, then the handle 3 15/16. Ambidextrous tip up deep carry clip. There's your lock engagement. It is, of course, rock solid. Super free bearings. Centering's dead. Condition is very near mint in box. These prices have crept up on these. I saw one sold listing on eBay, and it was a buy it now at $155, and it was a best offer accepted. So probably sold in the $140, $145 range. This one can be yours. Shipped priority mail, $125 like it is, $150 sharpened. Now this has a polished edge, but not quite good. Not the factory stuff isn't cleaned up everywhere. It's probably good and sharp, just not as nice as it would be if I sharpened it. So $125 like it is, $150 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Massdrop Ferrum Forge Gent CF. Next up, another one from Massdrop, and this is a Ray Laconico design. It is the Keen, and that kind of OD greeny goldy anno on the nicely tumbled titanium handle. I love that, just gently crowned handle, so low key, so Ray Laconico. Beautiful long milled titanium pocket clip, right hand tip up only. It's a steel inserted titanium frame lock, ball bearing flipper. Blade is going to be S35VN, a gorgeous 3 5/16 inch spear point, 4.5 inch handle. There's your lock engagement right where you want it. It's rock solid. Again, ball bearing action is beautiful. Blade centering dead. Condition, let's see. Again, it's had a polished edge done, not quite completed, right? Some areas where it didn't quite get cleaned up. But plenty sharp if you just want to grab it and use it. Let's see. Sold listings on eBay all over the place, between $110 and $190. We're going to do $120 on this one. Shipped priority mail, $145 if you'd like to come with an ApostleP edge. That's the Massdrop Laconico Keen. Next up, from L.T. Wright Handcrafted Knives. We got 2 of these coming, but here's the first one. Ready? And that beautiful sheath, just a gorgeous piece of work. Fire steel loop, fold over construction, double stitch, nice welt. You get a loop, a D-ring, and another loop, which is removable via Chicago screw. Here's the knife. It is the large Northern Hunter, sort of a Canadian Hunter pattern, I would say, right? AEB-L blade, 4 1/4 inches long. It's like a, it's almost like this has a light bead blast over a coarse satin. The handle natural canvas micarta, 4 9/16 inches of it. Just beautiful in a saber grip. Beautiful if you come up and pinch it. Standard LT Wright hardware, right? like a Corby bolt, brass nut, stainless steel center, brass lanyard, big generous lanyard. Again, a polished edge has been applied, not super refined. It'll definitely cut, but if you want me to sharpen it, I'll make it a little better, right? These are out of stock everywhere when they were available. They had a web retail of $171. Can't buy one new, but you can buy this one, very near mint in box, $150 like it is, $175 with an ApostleP edge. LT Wright Large Northern Hunter. Next up, the other LT Wright in tonight's sale. This one, it's the Genesis Flat Ground 3V. Comes in that same sheath, fold over bushcraft sheath, fire steel loop, fixed loop, fold over loop, then a dangle with a D-ring. Look at this, guys. So this is LT's Kephart interpretation, right? Full flat ground 3V, polished spine until right there, and then we go coarse 90, right? Super sharp edges, 4 1/4 inch blade, stock thickness about 140. He cheats to the thick side, but he's got a skinny grind, so what the heck. The handle, 4 3/4 inches of polished burlap micarta. Not only is the micarta stunning, but so are the Corbies. And the lanyard in brass, just gorgeous. Gorgeous aesthetic, superb knife, perfect Kepharty handle. Just a beautiful knife. These are out of stock everywhere. $235 would have been your web retail for this knife. Can't buy one new, but you can buy this one. Like new in box with the sheath. $200, like it is $225 with an ApostleP edge. That's the LT Wright Genesis. Next up, from Grimsmo, Sweden, we have the Wildlife Hatchet. A very handy piece. Comes in a nice leather sheath. Here is your blade. Forged super secret Swedish steel. Big old convex grind. Beautifully thin. I don't know if I can show this very well, but this profile is designed to cut cross grain, right? It'll split just fine, but that profile, that skinniness, makes it great for cross cutting. I don't know if they use hickory or what they use in Sweden, but it's beautifully done. Dimensions are 3-inch cutting edge, 5-inch length, and then the handle length is 13 3/4. Condition is like new, no box with sheath. Price of these, if you buy one online, I found them for $185 on Amazon. This one can be yours, $120 shipped, priority mail, $145 with an ApostleP edge. That is the Grimsmo Wildlife Hatchet. Next up, I teased you about this yesterday. It's from Bark River, Escanaba, Michigan, USA. Look at that old box, huh? Designed by my buddy Chris Tanner. The Vengeful One JX5. In his Jessica series of knives. It looks to me like that sheath might just have a little bit of red dye going on to match that burgundy burlap micarta. Here we go. Yeah. I saw this knife for the first time with that sort of Scandivex and these big flats and that big fuller and that Peter Kohler looking handle. But the blade is what got me. I thought pirate knife. I asked Mike when I looked at the prototype in his office, I said, do you get a parrot with that? But it's so cool. I mean, it's a statement knife, isn't it? And the maker's mark says 3V, CPM 3V. You have 9 inches of blade, 6 3/8 inches of handle, all kinds of real estate to grip however you want. There are some fine scratches in the satin. Looks like it's been touched up a little bit. We're going to call it excellent, and we'll call it near mint, in box. These are out of stock. Quickly they were out of stock. This would have sold at about $260. Web retail can be yours at $200, like it is, and $235 with an Apostle P edge. It's the Bark River JX5 Vengeful One. Next up, we have one from a K-Bar, Olean, New York, United States of America. It is a K-Bar short Tonto, right? So it comes in the molded plastic sheath, nylon dangle, and not really a D-ring, but kind of a belt loop. Double snap closure, plus a little mechanical retention. There you go. Black coated 1095 Tonto edge, combo edge, craton handle, pinned pommel, very little to zero edge wear. We're going to say near mint, no box, with sheath. And get in there. Nice little snap. These are available online for a web retail price of $73. You can have this one $50, like it is, $80 with an Apostle P edge. The K-Bar Small Tonto K-Bar. Next up, got one from Cold Steel. It is the Steel Tiger. It comes in a molded plastic Securex sheath with what is not, it looks like it might be an integral clip, but I don't believe it is. I think it sort of slides in and hooks. And inside there you have this. OS 8A, Taiwan, stone-washed steel blade, hawkbill. The Steel Tiger. Cray X handle with a ringtail. So a little bit softer material here and then a little harder polymer for the ring. 4 5/8 blade, 5 5/8 handle. Oh yeah, oh. Nice little jimping for the thumb. Condition on the Steel Tiger like new in box. No box, I'm sorry. Price of these brand new is $57 web retail. You can have this one for $40 like it is, $70 with my edge. It's the Cold Steel Steel Tiger. Next up, we have a buck sheath in black leather. Inside the sheath comes, you guessed it, a 110 folding hunter. I believe that's ebony. Sure looks like ebony. Brass frame. Modern grind on the 420 HC blade. And it looks like it might have been sharpened, and kind of lovingly, not perfectly, but lovingly. Zero vertical play. Very, very slight, sometimes side play. Right now, none. Nice spring, free blade. Centering, what? Right down the middle? We're going to call this near mint, no box. Your price, $40 like it is. $65 with an Apostle P edge, the buck 110. Let's put you back in your little home. Don't you want to go home? Okay, next up, we go from icon to icon. Next, from Cold Steel. This might be too cheap. It's a Recon 1 clip point, OD green, G10, CTS, XHP blade. Yeah. They do such a nice job on their metal finishing and then their PVD coating. These are like 3 7/8 blade length. I don't know how long the handle is, 5.5. Only the right hand clip is present. It does have a couple little nicks in it. Lockup is triad awesome. Blade is free. Centering is dead. Other than that little bit of clip wear, virtually nothing. I don't think it's even been sharpened. In CTS XHP, these are discontinued and out of stock, and unobtainium with the OD green. So I think 95 bucks is more than fair. That is your price, shipped priority mail, 120 with an Apostle P edge. Cold Steel Recon 1 clip, OD XHP. Next up, from Applied Weapons Technologies, we have a plastic bag and a sticker, and a set of beautifully milled bug out scales, black hard anodized aluminum. They have been installed, and you have just a little bit of burnishing at a couple of the corners. Probably just makes it look cooler. So we're going to call them near mint and baggy. They're about 70 bucks if you buy them new online. You can have these for 45 bucks shipped priority mail. No need to sharpen. That is in your inventory as AWT scales for bench-made bug out. And next up, speaking of the bug out, we have one. It is the 535-3 bug out. It'll say in your inventory CF S90V, that one. So does that make it a super bug out? I don't think so. Gorgeous matte finish carbon fiber, blue aluminum anodized backspacer, blue aluminum anodized thumb studs, Parkerized shorty deep carry clip. Beautiful, sort of a tumble over a satin on the S90V. Pristine factory edge, kind of sharp for a Benchmade. Rock solid lockup. It's better than that, I promise. There we go. Not quite a free dropper until it gets past about there, and then it's really free. This needs to be flipped. Rock solid lockup. Blade centering, if not perfect, very close to perfect. Condition is near mint to like new in box. These are available new at your favorite web retailer. Yep, it's a bug out, and you can buy it at your favorite website for $297. I think that's too freaking high. Let's do $225 shipped priority mail. $255 with an Apostle P edge. That's the Benchmade 535-3 bug out CF S90V. Next up, from the Benchmade Hunt series, it is a 15085-2 Mini Crooked River. Standard trim, right? Beautifully grained diamond wood scales, natural finished hard anodized aluminum bolsters, orange pivot collars, orange backspacer, Parkerized deep carry clip. Now, it has been carried a little. There's a little nick right over the access bar on the corner of the bolster, and some very, very light stuff right on the front corners. That's really what it looks like. So hardly noticeable. And then you got mechanical perfection. S30V blade, rock solid lockup, free dropper, and perfect centering. So I'm going to call it excellent in box because of the bolster issues, if you call them issues. Map pricing on these, and they are currently in stock. Big ones not, minis are. Map pricing on these now $270. Your price on this one, $185 like it is, $210 with an Apostle P edge. That's a Benchmade 15085-2 Mini Crooked River. Next up, what, you like that, but it's a little small? Well, how about this? Another Benchmade Hunt 15080-1 full-size Crooked River. In the full gray configuration. Again, natural tumbled hard anodized aluminum bolsters, orange pivot collars, orange backspacer, matte finish gray G10, parkerized split arrow clip, S30V blade, like 3 15/16. Gorgeous clip. I mean, gorgeous. Rock solid lockup. Not quite a free dropper, but certainly eminently flingable. Try not to cut your finger off when closing the blade. There we go. Centering, pretty much dead. Condition on this one, near mint to like new in the box. These are discontinued, not a stock. You can buy this for $200, shipped priority mail, $225 with an Apostle P edge. The Benchmade 15080-1, Crooked River. Next up, oh, this is so fun. We are going bold with the ZT knife. It is a ZT-0640 Emerson, stonewashed 20 CV. Here's what's funny about this. They were quickly discontinued because they didn't sell that well. They didn't move that well in the secondary market until I fell in love with them, did a video, raved about them. Now prices seem to be going up. So this one does not have the factory scales, the black and green carbon fiber. It is wearing a very nicely made set of natural canvas micarta scales. Factory clip, 20 CV blade, 3 3/4 inches, 4 3/4 inches a handle. There's your lock engagement. That is an inserted titanium frame lock with scales and a big reveal on the edges of that frame. Gorgeous California clip, thumb disc, riding on phosphor bronze, riding on phosphor bronze. Lockup's perfect, action's perfect, centering's perfect. This has been user sharpened, but faithfully. You know, it's hard to tell it from a factory edge, frankly, but it's not. I can tell it's been hand sharpened because of the scratch pattern. But nice. I'm going to give you a sharpened price, but frankly, guys, unless you love polished edges, this will do just fine. So we're going to call it near mint in box. They're discontinued. They're out of stock. Your price, $220 like it is, $250 with my edge. That's the ZT-0640 custom scales. Next up, speaking of classic and discontinued ZT knives, how about a little 561 action? Hinderer design. Now this is wearing bronze anodized titanium hardware, including the lock bar stabilizer and the pivot. And I think, I don't know, that's got to be a titanium clip. Satin finished and flame anodized. A little bit of spotting right there in the swale. Of course, it is a ball bearing flipper. Whoops. LMAX blade, acid stonewash finish. Factory edge, pretty toothy. Very little zero edge wear. You got your flat dark earth G10. What an icon. I'm going to call it near mint, no box. Discontinued, out of stock for years. Prices on eBay through the roof. Try buying one for this price. $240 like it is. $270 with an Apostle P edge. The ZT-0561. Next up, from Spyderco, the lone Spyderco in tonight's sale. But oh, what a Spyderco we have. It's a Spidey Chef. From Taichung, Taiwan, we've got a Reeve integral lock. No steel insert, carburized lock face, deep carry, wire clip, ambidextrous tip up. Really the only wear on the knife is the standard rub underneath the clip, because they do move side to side just a little bit. There is your kitchen knife blade in LC200N. Blade length is 3 5/16, handle 4 9/16. There's your lock engagement. Pretty deep, but okay. A little bit of stick, kind of, I wouldn't call it like Chris Reeve Hydro Stick. It's a little gritty, but it's not bad to overcome, not at all. Kind of gives you a little bit of a sense of well-being because it's not going to slip. Centering is perfect. So we're going to call it near mint in box. Current map pricing for this knife is $282 at your favorite web knife purveyor. This one, $200 like it is. $225 with an Apostle P edge. That is the Spidey Chef. Next up, we have one from Elijah Isham. Isham Blade Works. The model is the Abstruse CF. Pretty cool little pocket knife. It is a front flipper. I will not embarrass myself. On ball bearings. M390 blade. 2 15/16 inches from that point. Right? Nice glass bead. A nail nick if you don't want a front flip. How about that? A nail nick. Stainless steel liner lock. And it does have nested full steel liners in that carbon fiber handle. Lockup is rock solid. Ball bearing mechanism is super free. The centering is super perfect. Looks like it has a full length titanium backspacer and a milled titanium right hand tip up clip. It is near mint to like new in box. These are out of stock. Web retail was $210 when they were available. Let's do $160 on this one. $160. $190 with an Apostle P edge. The Isham Blade Works Abstruse CF. Next up, we have one from Enrique and the boys. The Pena X series. The model inside is the Raptor in titanium and green micarta. I promise. So it's it emulates a Barlow, but it's really a modern folder, right? So it is a ball bearing front flipper. It is a stylized Raptor-like sheep's foot. Is that a Raptor foot? M390 blade. Ow, man, I just poked myself and now I'm going to bleed. Look at that. Ow. Anyway, 2 15/16 inches of blade, 3 3/4 handle, steel inserted titanium bolster lock with the OD green canvas micarta. There's your lock engagement. There is your centering, which is hard to see, but it's perfect. I'm bleeding all over the place. Try not to bleed on the knife. Try not to bleed on the knife. Everything's perfect. It's like new in the box. They're out of stock web retail. Now this configuration with the OD canvas seemed to be really expensive. Like well over $200, like $270 when they were new. This one can be yours. $210 shipped priority mail. $235 with an Apostle P edge. That's the Pena X Series Raptor. Next up, we have a knife with no packaging except a baggie and a little protection inside. From a maker I have never heard of. W.R. Clark, who DBAs as Dynamic Knife Designs, DKD. This is his Hawkbill automatic. So you've got a nice sunray milled blue hard anodized aluminum handle, a very Protech style polished clip, button lock automatic, thwack. You have a sub 2-inch blade, I think. Where is it? Exactly 2 inches. ATS 34 with the DKD maker's mark. ATS 34 USA. Little satin finished mild hawkbill. Locks up rock solid. Let's see, the handle length is 3 11/16. Blade centering, hard to see, but it's down there and it's perfect. Look at that action again. Thwack. That might out Protech. Holy cow. We'll call it near mint to like new, no box. One of these is currently listed at Arizona Custom Knives for $215. Or you could just buy this one. All in shipped priority mail $170. And then $195 with an Apostle P edge. It's the W.R. Clark Dynamic Knife Designs Hawkbill Automatic. Next up, we have one from Zeba. Man, this is a good piece right here. Here is the COA. It is the model S7, a custom S7 Nitro V blade, titanium and carbon fiber handle, and the finish is called Diamond Flame. Oh, what a piece this is, guys. There is your marbled carbon fiber scale. There is your bronze anodized titanium backspacer. There is your diamond flame. So how did they do that? That is not, oh, I guess it is milled texture. The diamond crosshatch is milled, and then you got flame anodization on the frame and on the clip, which is right hand tip up. Very cool. It is a ball bearing flipper, steel inserted titanium frame lock, harpoon clip point with a lot going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grinds. That's pretty cool. Satin flats, acid stone wash everywhere else. Nicely done. I mean, nicely done. There's your lock engagement. Let's see. 2 7/8 blade, 4 1/16 handle. Rock solid lockup. Blade centering is perfection. Condition is near mint in box. Prices of these seem to vary wildly. They are out of production for a while. eBay sold listings range between $410 and $700. Most of them are in that $600 to $700 range. This can be yours. $370 like it is. $395 with an Apostle P edge. The Zeba Custom S7. Next up. Man, I need to pay attention. Another company I've never seen. Glow Rhino. Glow Rhino. And this is their reactor model. All black. Except, not quite. So the whole knife. Frame, hardware, blade, PVD coated black. What's that, you ask? Those are huge vials of tritium. I shut the lights off a while ago, and I'm not doing a loom shot because I can make it look like anything I want to. Just take my word for it. The brightest tritium I think I've ever seen. Better than my Ball Marvelite watch. Huge vials. They're instantly bright. I can't imagine how bright they are if you wake up in the middle of the night in a dark room, but pretty cool. You will not lose the knife because you can't see it in the dark. So you got a deep carry pocket clip that's going to be right hand tip up. The rest of it is standard titanium frame lock, steel insert, locking up thusly, nice and deep, rock solid. The blade, S35VN, pretty sexy little drop point. 2 7/8 inches of blade. That can't be right. That can't be right. Got to be 4 1/8. I wrote 3 1/8 for the handle length. Let's see. Let's just take a look here. Yeah, 4 1/8. That makes more sense. Okay. Perfect centering, perfect lockup, perfect flipping action. Condition, like new in the box. Price of these brand new. They are currently available for a web retail of about $205. Your price on this one, $170. Shipped priority mail, $195 with an Apostle P edge. The Glow Rhino reactor blade steel is, by the way, S35VN, because I think I forgot to say that. Next up, we have one from Russia with knives. The Custom Knife Factory, CKF Knives. And it is one that nobody wants, really. It's just an Evo 3.0. Very cool metal finishing on this. That is like a super coarse grinder satin on that crowned titanium handle and the clip. And then it's like acid stone washed. How cool is that? That's going to wear like unbelievably well. Is this like a CKF Strider? I made that look way too hard. It's a ball bearing opening. Just there, it's easier with the stop lug. How about that? And then a coarse satin on that hollow ground bevel and swedge, and then stonewashed flats. M390 blade, 3 13/16 inches long. The handle 4 13/16 inches. Steel inserted titanium frame lock, locking up like that. Is that like CKF's way of showing Strider how to make a Strider? Could be. Anyway, all squared away. Well, really, I think I got to tighten the pivot, boys, because the centering kind of went away on me, and it's bigger than that. Let me find the proper Torx bit, because I don't want you to see it like that. I'll be right back. All right, all better now. And fairly close to perfect centering. Anywho, it is like new in pouch. eBay sold listings for this out-of-stock model are between $880 and $950. How about we do $690 on this one? $720 with an Apostle P edge. That's a CKF Evo 3.0. That brings us to the last knife in tonight's sale and the last knife in my collection reset knife purge. It's from Chris Reeve. It's in S35VN. It is an Umnumzan left-handed. Inside the box, I bet you there's a birth card and a cloth and a sticker and a lanyard that's untied. Born August 1st, 2013. Not a Gen 1 pivot, but a pretty sweet 10-year-old knife. Now, I've used it, I've carried it. It's got a little bit of burnishing on some corners, some little tiny snail trails. Who cares? It is wearing an Apostle P edge. It's got new O-rings, so it's a little bit hydraulic when it thunks open. Centering is dead. Action is perfect. Tuned by the Apostle P. Left-handed. I mean, what do you want to know? So I did a little price research on eBay sold listings. I'm pretty sure you can't buy this for this. They just sort of keep going up. Your price, $600. Shipped priority mail. No need to sharpen. That is the Chris Reeve Knives Umnumzan left-handed. That's all for this one, my friends. Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Remember, the word is sharp. Now commence to clicking.